Ilio Damiani Jr.,
Yeah.
right? Fascinating story of evolution, of growth. Um, obviously starting a pretty big dojo in the mainland and then coming to the island of Okinawa, which is kind of like the Hawaii of Japan, and starting the BJJ house. A friend of mine who's a martial artist, you guys have seen before, Josh Simmers, the Okinawa Karate Podcast. He's like, we connected and he's like, Quentin, you have got to come. And when I got on the mat, I was like, oh, I remember this, and getting back into it. And you have an extremely interesting take on jujitsu in general, your philosophy of life, and how you apply that into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which I think is very relevant for the whole conversation. Now that martial arts is becoming way more popular than I think it was when you started,
Yeah.
right? I think this is more important than ever.
For me, I am really open for talk for anything, for personal thing or
Mm,
just for vision from as a sensei. I can
mm,
talk that way
mm,
too. So this is like for me, like I say, for me, I have a lot of luck in my life.
mm,
You can say good luck or bad luck. It doesn't matter.
mm,
A lot of things what I achieve or maybe the understand I have today is not just is not. Of course, I need to do hard work. I'm looking for that kind of
mm,
thing. But a lot of things happen in my life to make me be here where I am now. Of course, it's much more easy when you look back because you can see
mm.
your step back,
Yeah.
but after when start to look back, it's clear every kind of thing happened in my life and made me who I am now.
Mm,
So this is why I don't put too much value in myself. I don't say like I do this or I do that kind of thing because I know it's not me.
mm,
It's the situation put me to become that way,
mm,
So more and more I start to understand doesn't matter too much about me.
mm.
But of course, like I say, you can talk about personal thing too. I'm totally open to talk that.
So let's do this. You've been teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for like 25 years, right? Or a
Yeah.
little longer. Maybe is it 26 now?
Yeah, maybe
26, something like
20.
that.
Yeah.
You did the very unique thing where you started teaching Jiu-Jitsu even as a white belt to anyone who would listen, right?
Yeah.
Any of your friends who would listen. Was that discouraged against, or does that make any sense? Like
Eh,
your teacher at the time, your sensei.
Yeah, that kind of thing, I like a bad luck or a good luck too,
Uh,
because I'm start training with one guy.
okay.
So I trained with him like 8 months, and after I need to move because the work and job, all the thing.
Mm,
I'm 17 that
mm,
time,
okay.
so I need to move for another city. When I go there, and that time in Japan, there's no heavy jiu-jitsu. And that
Uh,
anyway, I think just a couple places in Japan.
yeah.
So I feel like what I can do it. And so I
Uh,
start training with my brother, my old brother, 5 years older than me. We start training together and his wife wants to train too. So we start training the Budokan, the
mm,
sports
mm,
center. And some guys, some Japanese start see us training and asking if he can train with us. So that come natural. I
mm,
start share what I know already in that moment is thinking now is just this much. And I don't know nothing at that time, but
mm.
the thing I know and help the guys, and you start training together.
How did you find your first students?
The student found me. Yeah, like say I'm there and the guys looking to look
Yeah,
there and
yeah,
now
yeah.
let's do together.
Mm,
And after time I need to change the place where I live again.
yeah.
And that area I found one karate dojo.
Hmm.
And I see and Sunday is closed. So I go there and ask for the guy for rent for me for
Uh-huh.
just the place. And the
Sundays
guy,
only.
yeah, only Sunday. And I teach only in the Sunday.
Uh,
And that sensei has put like advertising the magazine. And that
that you were
magazine,
teaching.
yeah,
Oh
and
wow.
that magazine is popular magazine. So he's
Mm.
put for karate, his karate class, and he's put my class to
Wow.
jiu-jitsu. So people start see that kind of thing,
Mm,
start come.
mm.
But in that time, it's not most the people come is not for really want to train with me, but it's more for challenge guys.
Okay.
Yeah, because at that time when the jiu-jitsu started become a little bit known in Japan because the UFC, the first
Yeah,
UFC
yeah,
or
yeah,
value to the Japan,
yeah.
and people have that idea, oh, jiu-jitsu is the best martial art, so people
Uh,
want to pass,
Gracie, right?
yeah,
Gracie strangling
yeah,
people and all these the Russian kickboxers and
yeah,
all, and you're like,
yeah,
who's the best, right?
yeah,
Um, Oh, that's crazy fascinating. So even the way you just said that, I asked where your students came from. You said they found you, right?
Yeah.
W- you have really decided to go deep down the rabbit hole of be flow jujitsu, and you're really developing this method of teaching after 25 years. What is flow jujitsu, and how did you get there?
Yeah, I think that that process become longer too because, for
Okay.
example, in that when I start teaching in that place, like say people found me because or because in the beginning when you see I'm training and we want to train together, or found me because want to challenge me. People go
Mm.
there for fight against me,
This is like an Ip Man story.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, they just wanted to see
Yeah, it's
who's
there.
better. Okay.
Yeah, and that time I just know that way,
Okay.
because I grow in that same idea. Oh, jiu-jitsu, I need defend the name of jiu-jitsu. I need
Yeah.
prove jiu-jitsu is better. No, even
Yeah.
I don't know anything, I still white belt. So I like 52 kilos, only the guy, big guy. I don't know how I do it,
Yeah.
really, no, but yeah, I submit this guy and
Uh,
that guy start training with me. Most of the
mm-hmm.
guys, some guys never come back
Mm,
and some that guys stay with me and start training with me.
mm,
But so that point when I start see, even of course when I white belt, you use a lot of power, but I don't have it because
yeah.
I'm just 52 kilo. For sure I use it, but I start realizing, oh, it's not enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my focus is totally in the technical way.
Yeah.
I need to start discover for myself
Yeah.
because no have teacher, no, and that time no have internet, no
Uh,
YouTube, no magazine, anything.
uh,
So a lot of things I have the principle and I need to start discover myself to
uh.
how I can do this more smooth
Yeah.
possible.
52 kilos for us Americans is like 130, between 130. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Between like 130 and 140, 145
Yeah.
pounds.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty small. It's pretty,
Yeah.
I'm like 160, I think, in pounds. Um, which, since I haven't been able to come back from being too busy, I've gained weight. It's not good. I'm trying to get it back off anyway. So that's how you kind of
Yeah.
evolved into the understanding. Did you see am I wrong? Flow Jiu-Jitsu is about the give and take of trying to bypass your natural instinct. Um, as a human, when someone goes to strangle you, you have a fight or flight response, right?
Yeah.
Flow Jiu-Jitsu is more about trying to, correct me if I'm wrong, please, uh, go directly into the subconscious, avoid natural instinct, and trying to find the exchange of information. What is your partner doing and what are you doing in response to that, rather than your conscious thoughts of instinct of he grabs my neck, I flinch, right? If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Uh, how did you was it the aggression of these people that you saw challenging you that made you think there has to be more here, that is less power and aggression and more, is that where that root of the idea came from?
Yeah. And that time I already start doing the flow and I already start make the understand, but I'm not aware in that time.
Mm,
Just natural for me, because the only way I can do is that way. I don't have another choice. Maybe if I train in another dojo, another place that teach me like everyone, maybe I never have that opportunity to do that way.
mm,
But I think the big difference is when I start martial arts, I never see like the martial arts as a fight. I
mm,
want to beat the guy. I want to, I want to be show I'm better than him is not the point in that case. For me, it's more like for myself. No, I want to be like just it's like for me, it's like a game, it's like a play. Something is
mm,
really nice. And that time, most of the people just see the perspective from the fight perspective. And now already in the beginning, I don't have that perspective. I have the perspective. I want to see like be more technical possible,
mm,
be fun the way you move. Yeah,
mm, mm, mm.
because basically like the flow is more like do what you need to do, but the more efficient way. Don't force.
Ah, okay.
No for don't force. Let's see the more efficient way to do it. Use less power, less energy, all this thing. But just as a philosophy, just say that thing is not easy because your unconscious starts stop you to see what you need to do.
Yes, it is. It is a very deliberate. There's this weird paradigm when you're trying to do the flow that I've experienced where, man, how do I explain it? Y- You have to consciously force yourself to become unconscious. which is it's like a paradox. You have to choose to avoid your conscious reaction.
Yeah, no, see that.
But that's still your conscious. Do you see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, they see that way, you can like, because flow, everything is about the mind, the way the mind works.
Yeah.
So this is why for me, I'm already start flowing and
Mm.
learn from that process,
Uh,
but I'm not able to teach in that way
okay.
because I start to do for myself, but I still teach the way people teaching before,
Mm.
show the technique, repeat the technique and do it. But in myself, I start do the different way because my mind, I start to use a different way in my mind. So just after a couple years ago, I start have that idea, understand how I can teach in that way.
Mm.
The way I learned before, I start realize is more efficient, and I need to know how to teach in that way.
Mm.
So this is why you start go understand the mind. So when you say like you force yourself to unconscious, it's not like that way. It's more like this, In the mind, you have like the memory,
Mm.
you have like the intellect, and you have the ego, the persona, or
Mm.
me, the
Okay.
Damiani. You
Yeah.
have the simple way,
Yeah.
you do like split in the three
Yeah. Yeah.
parts. So for example, for flow, you need the memory for sure. If you practice the technique, you have the memory in your body and how to do the technique.
Mm.
It's necessary. So this is why you go for the dojo for learn how to use the technique. So the second one, the intellect. The intellect, you start to learn how to combine this technique. You think for yourself how you can do it, that kind of technique.
Mm.
For example, why I need to grab that arm or why I need to grab that leg, because I want to take something, he cannot push the arm in the
Mm.
ground.
Mm.
So you start to use more your intellect. So
Mm.
you're able to start create different variation from the technique
Mm.
because your intellect. So you need to practice your memory. You need to practice your intellect to be able to create a new thing or try adapt a new position.
Mm.
So you need it. The problem is the ego in that equation, because the ego is want to do what he wants to do. It's not
Yeah.
what need to do.
Yeah.
Because the situation, if you see clear, use your mind, just see the situation. It's more easy. You decide what you need to do it, but it's not, you don't use your intellect for the situation.
Mm.
So your ego starts to use the intellect for himself.
Mm.
And that's the problem of the thing, because you need strong, really sharp intellect. The more intellect you know how to change the position, how to take decision in our life.
Mm.
The problem is who use the intellect. You can think like intellect is a knife. You have a sharp knife.
Meaning like, are you allowing your ego to take over to choose the intellect, or is it coming from intuition? What do you mean by that? Like,
And it's a hard to talk about this because a lot of people have different meaning for ego.
okay.
Yeah. So ego is like, you can talk like a persona, or every experience I have in my life start create the ego, start
Mm.
create my own personality. Yeah. What I like, what I don't like it, what kind of fear I have, what kind of desire I have, what the kind of people I like, what the kind of people I don't like. So this start create after years. Yeah. The baby is not have that ego yet. It's have just clear information and clear intellect. So the intellect he start growing to use his information to live his life. The problem is when you start create that own self, that ego, and now you have that kind of thing like or dislike. Yeah. So when you start to use the intellect just for the ego reason, and you cannot see the reality, how you can use your intellect for deal with the real problem.
Mm.
For example, you see the situation. If you use your intellect just for solve the problem, where is the leg? Where is the arm? Where is my weight? So you focus all your attention for use your intellect to solve that kind of problem. When I put the ego, now the ego wants to use the intellect for solve his problem. What his problem? My problem is I need to show I'm better than guy,
Mm.
or I need to defend myself because I'm a weak guy. Doesn't matter what story you create in your mind, because the ego is the best for creating story.
Yeah.
So he's create the story and start use all the intellect for create his own story, use for himself. It's not for deal with the problem. He start use the ego for himself.
Mm.
So I think that the problem when you start blind yourself to see the reality of the physicality in jiu-jitsu. So this I start realize is for help people understand better the technique. I need to teaching the people how to shut up the ego.
Mm.
And see the situation just the way it is. Doesn't mean in the moment you become like a best fighter of perfect and everything. No, just mean you start see more clear.
Mm.
And now you have possibility to grow and then learn much more fast. Because every time when your ego, your opinion come to this, again, you start blind yourself, you know.
Uh,
So it is when you start use more force, force more thing. You want to do some technique, the guy starts stop you, but I want that kind of thing, I know that technique. I want to finish this, I want to catch you. So the ego wants this.
mm,
But if you use just clear intellect and clear information, you already learning, you start realizing, no, I cannot go for that direction. Let's see, I can go for that direction. So your sensibility, your sensitivity start growing more fast. That's the difference between the white belt to the black belt. Black belt have so many years of training, the sensibility start growing more fast because after years.
mm,
But if you start put your attention in that kind of thing, your sensitivity growing much more fast.
mm,
You don't need to take many years to have the same
mm.
sensitivity, you already have in the beginner.
There are a lot of people that might be watching or in the future might watch and might have their doubts. I think a lot of America is very focused on power, right, and drills and drills and drills and drills and power and especially people that for the first time they want to get in it because they want to strangle that guy or they want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right? I
yeah.
mean, this isn't a secret, right? But there's a lot of truth in what you're saying, even in terms of the ego-based practicality. Something you probably won't mention that I'll probably mention is you're the highest ranked sensei in all of Okinawa, right? And multiple black belts that are literally triple your size will roll with you and be angry and be like, I don't know why I couldn't do it. I couldn't find a way. He got into my head and he did this just wouldn't. And these are like really big guys, even to other people while you're smaller than average. So it's like even more of a disbalance or a balance, right? And just the ability to utilize this. Would you say that flow works best when somebody isn't trying to flow, but you are, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I like say no more you flow, meaning like when you start being the flow state, you start see more clear
Mm,
what going on because
mm.
you don't have the interference of your ego.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if the guy start have the same flowing and
Yeah.
have more technique,
Uh,
big body and more
uh,
strong, of
uh,
course I cannot deal with this,
yeah, yeah,
This is not like a superpower
yeah,
become
yeah, yeah.
invincible. No, just meaning you have clarity to see things.
Mm,
And people don't realize you don't have that clarity to
mm.
see things.
So the trick is to maybe disrupt their clarity,
Yeah,
like their own ego gets in their way
yeah.
while you're flowing with them or while you're rolling with them.
But I don't say this doesn't work as a fight perspective. You train, use your power, or use drilling, drilling, drill. I don't say it doesn't work.
Mm,
Work as a fight perspective. If the guy do a lot of this thing, I have just flow, but I know practice. Of course, the chance for the guy beat me is more higher because I
mm,
have power, drill, and train a lot his body. If I have just the flow, but I don't train my body, I don't train like now. Now I don't train jiu-jitsu anymore. I teaching, but I don't train like before. I know no training my body. So what saved me now is 100% the flow because I don't have more my physicality that
mm,
I have before. I don't have the timing like I had before. I don't have like the ability to move my body the way I had before. So just the flow saved me now. Like again, my life put me in the situation, forced me do that way. I just for now I just able to train that way. I'm not able to train another way because I don't have more the physicality like I had before. Even the minimal I
mm,
needed, so force me.
mm,
But I say, in that way, both way work. But what's the difference for me? Like I cannot see like martial arts separate from real life or
mm,
daily life.
mm,
So people have like different philosophy to live his life. So one side, the philosophy can be like the way people live their life is okay, plan your life, work hard, do what you needed, force and have. If you want that kind of thing, go already, do everything what you need to do it. And for his work, I have a lot of people successful in some way, maybe financial.
mm,
I don't say like inside his head or his feeling, but you can achieve a lot of things.
mm,
And I did this all my life too. I plan what I want to do and go for what I need to do and do it. And you can achieve that kind of thing too. But the problem when the guy start do anything for have what he's want.
Mm,
It's like in jiu-jitsu. I want that passing guard, so I force, force, force. Yeah, you're able to pass the guard, but you force, and maybe you hurt the guy, you hurt your partner. It's not fight, but you hurt the guy to do what you want. I think that's the problem. People live sparring that way, live that way is the same thing. I don't say he's a bad person, but he can do bad things because he's want to achieve what he's want.
mm,
Sometimes he's take something for somebody or tell not the truth or do something
mm,
for give prop for another people just because he's want to achieve what he's want,
mm,
because he's having his mind, he's have that philosophy, I need to do what I need to do it at that point, but
mm,
it's not what he need to do it,
mm,
what his ego want to do it.
mm,
That's the difference. And for me, I don't see that way anymore. I see like you do what you need to do, not what your ego want to do it. You need to make a plan. You need to have a direction. Okay, I want to achieve something. I want that thing. Okay, go and do it. Learn how to do the more technical way how to do it. You want to achieve something? Yeah, think about do that thing. But every time when you see something stop you, relax. Because think about that problem, don't solve the problem.
mm,
Because if think about the problem, solve the problem is already solved,
mm.
because your thinking is just memory accumulation in your head.
Yeah.
So you take that memory, you start look for the answer inside your head. So you have some problem, you think about how I solve this, and you feel mad and think about, don't solve the problem. The answer is not in your brain. So the answer is outside. It's something is still happy with you.
Is that creativity? What is that? You know what I mean? Like instead of solving it with your memory and past experience, right? Your recognition, your re-conscious, right? You're talking about using creativity?
Yeah, you
Okay.
use creative, but first, before you create something, you need to have like the ingredient.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ingredient is what you have as memory in your
Mm-hmm.
brain
Mm-hmm.
already.
Mm-hmm.
So if the ingredient you have, you cannot solve the problem, you
Mm.
need to think, okay, that problem can be solved. If cannot be solved, it's already solved. You cannot do anything.
Mm.
Yeah. If it can be solved, let looking for this
So letting
solution.
go
Yeah.
of the okay,
Yeah,
I
if
see.
you see no solution, you
Huh.
need to, no solution. Because have a lot of problems, no solution. For example, somebody die or something
Yeah,
happen, no
yeah,
solution.
yeah.
Or what this no have it. So you need to be able to recognize and have solution or not.
Mm.
So I want to pass that way or I want to do that technique. No solution, no have. So what I can do is so you start recognize the situation and the solution come from outside.
Okay.
So if you don't think about too much the problem or force too much, you're able to be calm enough to see the answer come from
Mm.
different place.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, if the ego start want to solve the problem, the ego already start be blind you to see what you can do it.
Uh,
Yeah. And I think like that way is more smart to live the life, because it's the same idea if I start fight against the life,
uh,
against the universe.
yeah,
No, it's stupid if I think I able to win against the universe.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's more smart flow with the universe, because the universe don't want to fight against you. You have that feeling.
yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah.
the universe wants to fight against you, but it's not. He wants to flow with you. You
Uh,
don't want to flow because the ego wants something already.
uh,
So this stop you to see what the universe go on. It's like surfing. You cannot change the wave.
uh,
You need to know how to deal with the wave and take more fun possible from the wave.
mm,
The problem from the ego, because the ego wants to change everything, even the wave. You go for surf, you want to change the wave.
mm,
So you want to change the universe, what happened in our life.
mm,
It's not the idea like accept everything, don't do anything, waiting for God or universe to do everything for you. No, it's not this.
mm,
It's more look for the wave,
mm,
understand the movement of the wave,
mm,
know how to go in the wave and know when you need to get out from the wave.
mm,
Now understand that law from the universe, I think is the key point.
mm,
But normally the human being, we don't go for that direction.
mm,
You want something, you start force that kind of
mm.
thing.
Like a brute force,
Yeah,
right? Go through the wall
yeah,
instead of understanding you could just walk around the
yeah,
wall, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I think you understand like the same thing. You understand the mechanic of the body movement. You
Mm.
can understand how you can deal better with that thing. So understand the mechanic of the law of the universe. You can do that kind of thing.
Did something happen in your life to have you start to see this more?
And like I say,
Uh,
this is why I'm not. I'm not proud pride for myself because
Yeah.
I know it's not about me. Like
Mm.
the universe deal with me because I don't want to flow. So
Mm.
okay, let me put some
What
bad
happened?
situation. So for example, in my life, I'm really good to start understand the thing and try control everything.
Okay.
So this I like. If I have one addiction, my addiction is learning thing.
Mm.
What I like to learn,
Yeah.
I'm really I like to understand it deeply enough to I
Mm.
be able because I want to be under control. I need
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
control the situation, Because you can see like people don't think too much about the future and just complain about the life because he don't do what he need to do and he start complaining.
Mm.
And for because it is, I'm start to know I need to be careful with this. I need to start understand what I need to do and be plan my work, plan what I want to need to do it. So I have more control about my life. People
Mm.
complain about his life because their life don't go the way he's want. So
Mm.
this is why he's complaining. So I don't want to play that game. I want to understand everything to control my life
Mm.
and have what I looking for. And I'm really successful in that point. What I looking for, I achieve almost everything what I looking for. I plan my life.
Mm.
And I like say like when I 6 years old, I already start planning my life.
Mm.
That's the weird thing. I already planned marry when I trained, have marry and have kid when I trained for that age. All these things I
Mm-hmm.
already start planning my life. So this is why I have like successful in most of the thing I do it, but I don't realize what I start make to myself because I become too much exciting
Mm.
and excited because I start planning too much the future.
Mm.
The past for me don't attract me like a lot of people complain about the life. Don't
Yeah.
think too much about the past. For
Yeah.
me, the past catch me too much.
Mm.
I think too much about the future. So I plan, I can see no, oh, okay, if I do this, I can go that direction. So I start be good in that kind of thing, plan what I need to do.
You really built more than just training techniques around Budo, right? Like in for you to write a book, to ponder this a lot, to think deeply about this topic, Budo has to be a big part of your philosophy in life more than just BJJ, right?
Yeah.
What is that, and what
Yeah.
is that to you?
Yeah, I think when I start like first contact I have with the martial arts, I think almost like everyone watch move in the TV,
Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
kung fu
Bruce
thing,
Lee,
Bruce
Kung Fu,
Lee,
right?
yeah, the old kung fu thing. And of course, I like it's nice the fight thing, but what attract me more is like that idea of the master.
Hmm.
I feel like he's have something more than just the fighting. But in that time, I don't understand, but I know have something there. This is why attract me more and go to the martial art
Hmm.
because I have some sense of have something more than only fight. And I started martial arts. And like say in my life, I don't have teacher sensei for a long time.
Hmm.
Even when I start do the karate, I do a little bit. I train more with the friends. I see friends doing, and I
Hmm.
try copy. I don't have sensei
Hmm.
because my family is like not have money
Hmm.
for going to dojo all these things.
Uh,
So I train that way, and I have 1 year with the sensei train karate.
uh,
So most of the time I train separate from that kind of thing.
mm,
And I wait for someday maybe that master come to me and
uh,
teach me what is that
uh,
kind of thing more than
yeah,
only fight.
yeah.
I forget about that kind of thing. I so deep start teaching because I put in the situation when I start teaching and I forget all that idea and I focus just in teaching, teaching
Uh,
and teaching.
okay.
So I totally forget the idea of Budo, what I looking for. So just after when I start have like problem do the way I do every time, like plan my life and become exciting. So coming the time when I'm not able to control one thing
Uh,
is my family, my kids, because I have the idea and okay, I collect all that information, all that knowledge for I live better. I feel like I can live better, don't I? And I don't want to my son, my kids make the mistake people around me make because
mm,
I have the information. So I want to give all that information for my kids for his not make the same mistake I made before or the same mistake people made. And I try force that kind of thing. I try force it, and I cannot control. And I'm start become so excited, but in that time I don't know the reason. I don't
mm,
know. I just start become excited, and I'm become really depressive. I'm
mm,
really down. I'm depression really deep, and that time too I don't understand the exact the reason. I feel really bad, and come I do a lot of stupid thing in my life
mm,
because that depression.
mm.
And come a certain point in my
How
life,
old were you when you
uh,
this time?
that time maybe, I don't know.
Young 20s?
No, no, it's more recently. It's more like when I
Really?
33, 34.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when I 33, 34. And I have like successful, no, I don't say like big money, no, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
my dojo.
You
I
had
have
a
the thing what I
commercial
look for. Yeah.
dojo for sure.
I
Oh
have
yeah.
my family, good
Mini
family.
studios.
I
Yeah.
have my kids the way I plan. Almost the thing you have there. It's not
Yeah.
everything perfect, but I have,
Uh,
And I don't understand why I start becoming
and
that way.
still had just a hard depression.
Yeah.
Was you finding flow in life part of your way of letting go of the depression or accepting it? Does that make like more of changing the mindset from I want to get away from this depression to what information can I get, right? The exchange of information. How, like, what can I learn from this depression? Is that what you kind of did? Or,
Yeah, first I catch myself do a lot of stupid thing. Normally I don't do it. And
okay.
I see I do the purpose because I want to
Uh,
hurt myself.
okay. Understand.
And I come to the point that I start think about take my life. I try take
Uh,
my life. I take like pill. I
uh,
think deep I know I don't die, take
yeah,
that
yeah,
pill, but I
yeah.
take it
Uh,
and because I'm really bad and I start to recognize something before this, I thought, okay, I need to go to the doctor because I know I cannot think clear.
yeah, yeah.
It's not me, I feel like it's not me. So I go
Mm,
to the doctor. When I go to the doctor here in Japan, I have like the one Brazilian,
mm-hmm.
she's a psychologist, but she cannot work in Japan because he's now the certificate, all these things
Understand.
cannot
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she's work just for translation.
Okay.
But actually, I do like psychological
Yeah, yeah,
consult
yeah.
before I go for the psychiatry.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, I go psychiatry. So I talk a little bit with that psychology woman,
Mm-hmm.
and I start realize, she's try help me for in that conversation.
Yeah.
And what I realize is I know more about myself than she's know about himself.
Uh,
So I said, okay,
interesting.
I cannot have that that person
Doesn't
that way
help.
don't help
Yeah,
me because
yeah,
I know more
yeah.
about what's going on in my mind than she's know it.
Uh,
And I go after I go for psychiatry, he's giving me medicine. I say, okay, I need to take medicine
uh,
because I know in that point my brain my brain is not work
uh.
chemical good.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not just psychology, but it's already chemical thing. So I
Mm.
decide, okay, let me take some pills for be
Uh-huh,
more
uh-huh,
calm.
uh-huh.
And I take that pill, but my anxiety go down, but
Uh,
my depression is still there, and I don't have feeling for do anything.
yeah.
And I don't like that feeling. It's up and down.
Mm.
Sometimes in the morning I start becoming like a bipolar maybe. In
Uh-huh.
the morning I'm depressive, and close to the night it become exciting and I start see that all the pattern,
Yeah.
and that my depression become more bad. And then when I think about take my life because I cannot live that way,
Mm.
and I do that kind of thing. But deeply I start when I wake up next day I start think about no, I study a lot of things. I see so many people. I have opportunity to see so many
Mm.
people, so many problems, and I start to understand the psychology for people. I start my psychology on. So I need put in practice. I need using myself. So I need cure myself, and I start do again. Some research again, and say no, I need put my brain in order again, my own thing
Uh.
in order,
How did you
because
do that? How did you put your brain in order?
yeah, I feel like that way. I need to do what I need to do because if I cannot put my brain in order again, I say no meaning for live the life.
Mm.
I don't want to live that way. No point for that. I need to do it. So
Yeah.
one time what I start to do is I start to do like meditation exercise,
Okay.
meditation.
That makes sense.
I just start not because in that point I'm religion before. I go to church, but in that point in my life I don't believe anything. It's just physical thing. When I start do the meditation, just this because I know it is good for the brain, because I know the problem of the mind and that point, because I cannot control what I think. The story I create in my mind is not in my control.
Mm.
I start think bad things, all these things. So I need to put in order. So I start sit down some in the beginning just 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
after a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more
Mm-hmm.
more 20, and I start to do this every day,
Mm.
just quiet and pay attention to my mind.
Okay.
And it's really quick. After I don't remember how long, but it's not so long, I start can look to people eyes again.
Mm.
Start able to look around again the way I'm before, because in that point I'm not able to do that kind of thing anymore. And I start do that and that way. So and I start become more and more in my mind, and I start seeing, okay, if I come back the way I am before, I'm still not healthy. My mind's not healthy. And
Mm.
I see even I back to my normal way, every human being is not be arrogant, but you see,
Yeah.
no, it don't work. People don't know how the mind works. So I come see, no, I don't want to become the same way I am before. I want to fix that
Mm.
compulsive thing,
Mm.
I want to fix that kind of thing, I want to understand more. So this is why I start go more deep, it start paying more attention to my mind, how my brain work, how the mind work. And after time, like the answers start come to me, how what to do and that kind of thing. And my goal is okay, if it's not to become like better than I am before, I don't want to be here.
Mm.
And more you start to understand your mind and see people, because like I have that lucky, I have a lot of student, a lot of people, and I able to recognize his psychological problems. I start to see psychological problem in everyone the way he's training jiu-jitsu. But I don't judge because in that time, because I see everyone have his own psychological problem, and I have my own too. So no judgment. Why I need judge? But I start recognize that kind of thing. And I see everybody's is sick. It's not health, mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has some psychosis. Everyone creates some illusion in his mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I start recognize this. Like, okay, I don't want to be that way. I want to be, get out from that kind of thing.
I mean, what was like the final thing that got you out? I mean, was it just a slow step process of daily meditating that like eventually you felt like I'm out of the valley, the darkness, or
Yeah,
was there anything that happened that was like, oh wow, I'm out?
yeah. That when I have like slowly that way, because I start
Uh,
seeing now. Sometimes I feel like a little bit in depression, but I know it's temporary. I
okay.
know it's not me.
So just maybe then recognizing
Yeah,
where I am, okay, or
yeah.
where you are,
Yeah,
okay.
because come in the situation like this, I start realize the problem is me. The
Mm,
problem is not the life. The
mm,
problem is not what happened around me. The problem is me, the way I see life. So I try take my life. I try suicide,
uh-huh.
but I start not go so deep. But I start recognize, okay, the problem is me, and I understand a little bit about that kind of thing, like the ego after. But I start, okay, I don't need kill my body. I need kill the me. I need kill
Mm,
that guy
mm.
complain
The
or not
ego.
happy. Yeah,
Mm,
I want to kill that. And I start see if this is possible. Because when I start go a little bit, learn a little bit about meditation, I start hear a little bit more about what the Buddhism talk about meditation, because I want to understand meditation. And I started the meditation, it this work for me. And I said, okay, if that technique help me, maybe what that guy talking about, the Buddha talking about, Siddhartha Gautama talking about, maybe it's true. Maybe put him in different way to see life,
mm,
not because he's better, just because he can see the life the different way. So I start understand more what he's talking about and start checking myself. It's not a belief system, because I'm the church before,
mm,
and I never like the idea to believe in things.
mm,
I'm more scientific, I love science, but I go in my life the both thing, the religion and the science. I start growing the same level. Just coming one time when I start saying, okay, the science is more strong, and I start, oh no, no, religion is not my thing
mm,
anymore.
mm,
But when I start back in that thing, I start to see like Siddhartha Gautama, not like a religion, because
mm,
it's not. He's more like psychologist. He's know how the work the mind.
mm,
So I start study him, not just a philosophy or a religion. I start understand him as he's know about the mind. He's know what
mm,
he's talking about, because I start do what he say, and I start can see clear and start using my life. It start change and start
mm,
it is more like something I'm start. It's not like I learn a new thing. My sense is like, oh, I'm not the crazy one, because I already start to see that kind of thing when I'm kid, when I grow. This is why I can recognize people issue psychological problem, because I already look for my own, and I already look for another people. But in that moment, I thought just me, I'm the crazy guy. But when I realized have like Siddhartha Gautama talk that kind of thing, the guy really know, and I said, okay, I'm not crazy.
mm,
So this is why I start studying more. And after I start study different masters, I start study a little bit again what Jesus Christ talking about, and another master, and I start realize the connection about all these guys talk about the same thing.
mm,
And for me make much more sense. So this is why for me it's more like the sense for remember something than actually learn something.
mm,
When the information comes to me, it's more like, oh yeah, it look like I know that thing before. But it's not like just knowing before. Maybe I know here, but I start feeling my life this
mm,
real. This the way it happen.
mm.
Yeah.
The what would you say is one of the biggest advantages of training the way that you teach, or the way that you, yeah, the way that you teach in your dojo?
Yeah, so because I think no, if people train their way like force and everything,
Uh,
natural he's live life that way.
uh,
He cannot see what he need to do. I
okay.
want that thing, I need that thing, so he cannot see another possibility. And maybe another possibility is better than what you want.
Hmm.
Because the ego is too limited. He don't know everything. He's just know the life from your own perspective.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you want so much one thing, you close your opportunity to see another opportunity.
Mm,
So if you train it that way, hard way, win at any cost, you start to do stupid thing, with another people because you want to win, you want the result.
mm,
Doesn't matter another guy. You cannot see the another guy because it's too much self-centered mind. Yeah, it's just about me, about me.
mm,
So we already live life that way. So this is why when you go for the dojo, most of the place, you
mm,
can see the human being trained that way. It's not tell bad thing, no, but it is because we are that way. We think about ourselves. You want to achieve our own result. You want to do everything what you want, what you need. You do what you need to do. Even do bad thing. Even do like elbow in the face. Doesn't matter.
uh-huh,
You do what you want to do because you
uh,
want to achieve.
uh,
So you start to live the same way in the life. So this is why all art is just the expression the way you are.
okay.
So this is why if you see like a really good artist in the music, he's put himself in the music. The
Uh,
painting, the same thing. He's put himself in the painting. So it can be ugly painting, ugly music, or beautiful
mm,
music.
mm,
The martial art, the same thing. We just express ourselves when you fight. But our self is not the real self, is the ego. We
mm,
want to express the ego. So this is why for me I start connect for his psychological issue. I can recognize the way he's sparring, the kind of technique he's choose to use, the way he's act. I can connect, I can see the same way the people good and artists painting, you can recognize what the painting is or the music is. I start
mm,
recognize this in the art and the fight,
mm,
the martial art. So I say, if I thought, okay, if I change the way I teach and people train in different ways, start understand, see the reality,
mm,
see what is the best situation, not based on your opinion, but based in the situation, maybe, maybe that guy starts to see this is better way to do things. And maybe in his life outside the dojo, he start to live that way.
mm,
He starts to see, okay, my ego want this, but let me see if it's the best way to do it. It's just about me because even the training martial arts, if you think just about you, okay, you can be the bad guy that beat everyone if you're lucky, if the strong guy,
mm,
but just can have one guy that way. Most the another guy is not. It's just survival, hurt, no learn, take years to learn. But if you start training together, my training is about help you too. I'm
mm,
aware. Oh, now let's train that technique. I know how much good you are, so I'm able to give enough pressure, enough difficult for you have like a ability to see what you can do it. So I train with you. It's me and you. It's not just me, not just what the ego want. So I learn much more fast, less injury, have like that kind of conflict. And it's not just my mind think about how we can deal with that problem. Now I have partners to share.
mm,
Because if you go train, you want to catch me, you want to tap me all the time, why I want to share you some technique
mm,
I discovered?
yeah.
No, I don't share it, and you don't want to share with me. So the time for evolve is much more longer. Some people is already natural good for this, can catch fast and all this thing or natural physical strong. It's okay. Yes, it's okay train that way. But generally for everyone, it's more difficult to train it that way. I think it's more smart, be more sharing thing and you see like as a fight is not you against the guy. You start to recognize is like more like a dance than a fight
Mm,
because
uh,
dance is like this. Dance when you dance together, your step is rhythm and his step. Yeah, you need dance the same step. What you need to do is based on what he needs to do. So in the fight become the same way. Even if the guy wants to broke your arm, but you need based on that movement to do
mm,
some escape.
mm.
And it's not normal what happened. Now you see like separate. It's me against you.
That makes
So
sense.
it's become more difficult So this for me, like I don't say like who is what is better. For me, I see that way, more
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah.
Because you can be better in jiu-jitsu, but that all these things I base on the way I start understand my own mind, the way I live, start help me have new ideas to how I can help people understand this. So this I start recognize all different exercise, the way I need to do the technique, what technique I teaching first, what I need to talk to the guy, the way and I start recognize what the issue that guy, the problem, psychological problem that guy have it, because I can recognize and I know what kind of train I can help the guy. So that new ideas come just recently when I start
Mm,
come back
mm,
to teaching again. This is why it start forcing me in the point because I stay like for 2 years, I don't do anything in the martial art.
mm.
I really like forget everything.
Yeah, so you stopped doing martial arts for a little bit of time and completely, and you kind of removed yourself and started farming, basically, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it start like again, it start happen natural because
Okay.
when I get out from that depression thing and I start understand my mind, I understand no, I cannot fight against the reality. I never win.
Okay.
So let flow. I start flowing my life. So I'm still in Okinawa in Kanagawa at that time, and I flow and do it thing, and I start understand more the way the mind work and how and start become like I want to change the way I teaching too because I see that no come point when I say no meaning for teaching jiu-jitsu. That guy don't need the jiu-jitsu, he
Uh,
need fix his psychological problem.
yeah,
For
yeah.
me, start become because I'm too connect with people. It's hard for me separate that kind of thing
Uh,
because I see like my student, not my student. I see like my friend. So when you see like have some that kind of thing, start no, I want to fix it. What's the more important,
mm,
that part. But I start realize I'm not able to do this because people cannot understand the direction because I start change too fast. The way I see life start change too fast because more I start quiet my ego, more I stop create stories, new story. Just see the reality the way it is. I stop create that story. So I start see more clear the things. It's become more hard. Don't see the real problem for my friend having.
mm,
It's not just jujitsu. So this is why the guys go there, and this guy know long time because most of my students there, my friend, go there for talk with me, normal talk, not as that kind of talk, but normal talk. If people feel good, just go talk there. And I start saying this is the more important thing. But I feel like I'm not able to do that kind of thing, and I want to get out from Kanagawa. I have the idea to come to Okinawa years ago because like for example the problem I have for my depression, of course, is psychological. The psychological start because I want
mm,
to control everything. I'm not
mm,
able to control, think about the future all the time, plan everything. So to put me in exciting. So because I go excite too high, is the tendency when you go to one extreme, your brain made you for the another extreme. This is the law. We cannot
mm,
escape from this.
mm.
If you go too much for exciting, for sure, one day you
You
need to go to
crash.
depression. Yeah,
Mm,
because it's too much there. So this is what happened, for me. So I realized, okay, psychological. I figured out my psychological thing. I stopped do that kind of thing for stop my exciting, but still my physical body still have that exciting the body because I all my life I do that thing. When I start 6 years old, I start already playing. I already start that path of exciting thing. So it's still in my body. So I decide, okay, it's still in my body for depression. It's too cold place. The summer is too short, and I feel my life is too short every year. I just live in the summer and a cold period. I feel like I don't have life. So this is why I decide come to Okinawa. And it is a really hard thing for me because I think the last thing I want to get out is the sensei thing, the teacher there. Because I start get out all the person I create before, I start let it go. So I start see my kids, my son, my family, not my as my son anymore. I start see his as human being. I treat him as a human being. I start see more clear and start see, okay, that way I can deal much better. Because every time when I create image about what is father can be wrong.
mm,
What is son? I create the idea what is be a son, what be a father. So I create that story. I create that image about myself. But that creation is limited. It's created based on what movie I watching, the way I see my father do it. So it's limited that persona the way I
So
create.
you had an image of yourself as a teacher and just felt like you needed to step away from that for a while as a sensei?
Yeah, I feel like I need to check. I don't feel I have because with my son, I feel I 100% I there because I want to be
Mm-hmm.
the sensei for my son.
Yeah.
I want to teach him how to live the life. But in the dojo, I don't have that feeling because I know I teach and I talk with a friend. So I feel like this is why I never have like big problem in the dojo.
Mm.
If people want to listen what I say, it's okay. If you don't want, zero problem. I have problem with my family because I think, oh, he's my family. He's need to listen to me. So I
Mm.
have that thing. But I need to prove for myself if it's true or not. And but I don't do anything. But I feel that feeling. I think if I'm still too much, I cannot judge. So when I moved to Okinawa, when I let it go everything there, I moved to Okinawa. I still start teaching private class, and one guy uh, called me to teaching some class in the week. So I start teaching that way just because the situation come and I start teaching. So I come in that situation when I start because I have the idea, okay, if I get out from all that problem I have in my student, it's more easy to teaching. Like just one guy, just no private class,
Mm.
one guy, I think more easy. But I start see all psychological thing I have in another people. I have that one guy.
What did the community, you guys are, I mean, look, it's very different to be a student and to be a white belt like me, right? Or some of your other students. And then there's a community of senseis, of teachers, right? What did the community think when you started gardening or farming and kind of just stopped? Was there an assumption or what did they say? Because, I mean, a high-ranking teacher stops teaching. That's noticed. People notice that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Was there thoughts or did they call you or did they ask?
That's the funny part. No one asked me but start create stories. Yeah.
Really?
And I start hear some different story. Most of the people think I become crazy,
Uh,
or I'm depression again, or I'm
uh,
become hippie, don't care about anything in the
uh,
life.
uh,
And people create a lot of story that way. And it don't happen that way. What happened is I don't want to teach like just technique anymore. Like for example, that private class, I start saying, oh, and the guy don't want to learn from me. He's there just because he wants to talk and he don't want to learn. So I don't want to spend my time because I start
mm,
in my life. I start to live day by day as a not as a day by day because the only reality exists. Just the day today, just the now exists. The tomorrow is tomorrow, you don't know, and the yesterday is the past. It don't exist yet. So I start to live in the moment. So if I live that way and I see like, oh, the guy don't come to me to learn some technique, I have it. So what the point be with this? I spend my lifetime with someone who don't want, so I stop teaching that private class. And the another guy is called for teaching the class, and I told him, okay, I can teach that class, I can keep teaching, but give the class totally for me, for I'm teach the way I want to teach. And he say, no, you want to invent something you
mm,
cannot do. And I say, okay, no. So I don't have place to teach, and I feel okay, no have place to teach, and I stop teaching. And one guy told me about another guy do farm here.
mm,
Okay, I have that idea in the future. When I become old, I have that idea to farm. And I say,
mm,
why? Why when I become old? I not to do now, let farm.
mm,
And I found that guy, and that guy, okay, come here, I can teach you.
mm.
And I go there for farm.
There is something very, very special about farming and gardening and being in the dirt. And so for me, my family has a horse farm in Nashville, very stereotypical in Nashville, horses and stuff. And I did not expect that, but gardening for me forced discipline and forced patience. There is nothing that I can do, maybe besides fertilizer or things like that. I don't want to go down that road, but to force this plant to grow faster. It will grow on its own when
Yeah,
I'm planting, pruning, right? Things like that. Basil. I mean, simple. Like, you don't have to be like an industrial farmer. I mean, just like an herb garden, right? Just doing that on a regular basis, right? The discipline of it doesn't matter what happened in your life. If the basil doesn't get water, it's going to die,
yeah,
right? So the discipline of keeping that top of mind, the patience of not being able to force plants to grow faster or bloom or produce produce better, right, was so unexpected for me. I mean, so it's one of the coolest, funnest. I'm like an old man, is what I describe. You're just talking about like when
Yeah,
you get older. Like I'm like an old man. I love gardening, herb gardening, just so much, and it really does. There's something grounding about
yeah,
it, and being in the dirt. I don't wear gloves. Like it's like in the dirt, right? And
yeah,
then the dirt's under your nails for the next 2 days, and you're trying to scrub it out, and it's like there's something about that that's
yeah,
very special.
yeah,
I know that sounds weird, maybe,
yeah,
or kind of like I said, it just makes you feel older talking about that. But man, it's so peaceful,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think like for example that kind of thing, I know it. Just here in the mind that just idea, oh yeah, is that way, because
Mm,
when you talk this maybe a lot of people hear say yeah, yeah, is that way, yeah,
mm,
this way.
mm.
But he don't know it if he
Yeah,
don't do it.
yeah.
Yeah, so this for me when I start go for like farm is not because I want to farm, but I know I go for learn, I
Mm,
want to feel that kind of
mm,
thing,
mm,
because I come in the point in my life when I start be able slowly live in the moment more and more, more and more, and I start okay, okay, I me myself don't have too much thing to do. I do what come to me. So I want to be create something, but not the Elio Damiani. I want the being create something, but I don't know how this work. I don't know how to create, because how I can difference see the difference between my ego wants something or the life want me do something. I want to be part of the universe. I don't want to be separate anymore. I don't want to be just separated thing. I want to do what the universe want for me.
mm,
So for this, I need to learn how I can be create, how creation happen in the
mm,
real life. And I think the best way to learn how creation work is being the earth, because the earth is the
mm,
mother of the creation. We come from the earth.
mm.
Yeah, if the earth don't exist,
This
we're
is
not
true.
there.
This is true.
So the earth create us.
Mm,
So let's see how the earth create us.
mm,
And like you say, I learned so many things too from the earth, that so see the connection between everything. Now there's
yes.
no buggy, for the thing you think, oh, let's kill all this buggy or not. No, you see, have the balance, and you see why have too much, because you try change the thing. So
Mm,
this is why I have so much bug that way,
mm.
because we try interfere. Now it's use more, things there, and you start changing, broke the earth.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that kind of thing. If
Mm,
not, the balance is there. Now,
mm,
if you're able to see that kind of thing. And another thing is fun, I realized just after, is about like martial art. Not the martial art, the
mhm,
march, the god march
mm,
is the war god, yeah.
mm,
But actually, the march before is the farmer god,
mm,
is not the war god, and
mm.
start making much more sense.
Wait, what? What
The
martial arts?
Yeah, the martial arts name comes for the march, for the
Mm-hmm,
martial, the
mm-hmm,
god, yeah,
mm-hmm,
march,
mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
But the god march today is for the war, the
Yeah,
god for the
yeah,
war.
yeah, yeah.
But if you look at before, the god march is not from the war god,
He was
it's the
farmer.
farmer god. It's I
Really?
don't know the word coachable, no, but it's that god.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, before the war. Yeah,
Cultivation.
yeah,
Wow.
and you start seeing,
I didn't know that.
so because you start thinking, when the human beings start to learn how to deal with the earth for plant, because before we don't know, you need cat here, oh no anymore, you need to look for another place and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
so the human beings start to learn how to deal with the earth,
Mm,
and you start understanding, because in the beginning it looked like a fight against the earth.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
the earth need give to me that kind of
Uh,
thing. But after what comes, no, you cannot fight. You need to learn how the world working
mm,
and work together.
mm,
It's not a war.
mm,
So that the idea, work together, see the problem, the conflict, and work together. So the that march for that point is make much more sense today for me for martial arts,
mm,
because again the fight, the march is not the fight for try kill everyone, because people
mm.
have the war in the mind, is think, oh, the god of war is like the killer,
Yeah.
destroy everything, but it's not. And
Win, right?
yeah, it's
Win,
not.
win.
Yeah, it's like know the where you have the problem, the war you haven't, and know how to deal.
Mm,
But again, the human being love to distort everything. So he has just take just the idea about win the war, the thing.
mm.
But if you look like old ancient, he's learn about the gods is much more different.
What do you want, the industry? That's a terrible word. What do you want BJJ more than anything to understand? maybe about like what you were doing in terms of flow. Sorry, I got some. I'm like, this is the worst timing ever. Um, yeah, in terms of BJJ as a martial art, is there something that you want them to recognize in particular? Like speaking to everybody.
Now you can touch the Budo thing, you know.
Mm,
After all this thing, you can understand. I start understanding what is the real Budo thing, you know,
mm.
because you start recognize where the Budo come.
Budo.
Budo, yeah, the
Do you,
martial arts
I
in
was gonna say
Asian.
for most people, they don't probably even know that what that translates to. Can you explain that for a sec?
Yeah, Budo is like it have like two character, two kanji, like
Uh-huh.
symbol.
Two
Is
Chinese
yeah,
characters, right?
character. Yeah,
Honji,
yeah,
Honzi, right? Kanji in Japanese. Yeah.
yeah. So have Bu and Do.
Hmm.
The Bu, the more simple way to
So
translate.
Budo means martial arts in Japanese.
Yeah, but it's not just martial arts because the first one, the Bu, already mean martial arts.
Okay.
The Do is the way.
Okay. So the lifestyle of martial arts, Budo.
Yeah, Budo, yeah, the
Okay.
way from the martial arts. But have more deep thing. Like everything have more deep
Oh,
layer in
of course.
everything, you
Of
know.
course.
So in the Budo, it's more like the Bu. When you look the kanji, you
Mm-hmm.
can see like it look like the character for stop, the
Mm.
tomare,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the one is like a little bit like a sword. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the way to stop the sword.
Yeah.
So it's like the war is not like do war, but how
Mm.
to stop the war, or how to stop the conflict. And the do is the way to stop the conflict.
Mm.
And the more fun thing about the do is have different meaning too, because the do is not just the way, but the do is the same kanji for Tao. The Taoism is
Tao. Oh. Oh wow.
the same kanji for Tao.
The Tao Te Ching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the same Tao.
Yeah.
Tao for him you can translate like power weight, God, but not
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more like the universe or
Yeah, yeah,
everything, you know.
the Chinese philosophy,
Yeah,
yeah, Tao Te Ching.
yeah,
It's short book of philosophy.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so these are after did that kind of thing I don't study before. It's something I start recognize after because the Tao is more 100% the idea of flow.
Hmm.
You know, flow with the life. This all philosophy, the Taoism is 100% about this
Hmm.
flow, you know. So the way to stop the conflict is flowing. You can
Hmm.
translate that way, but
Hmm.
the symbolic, you know,
Yeah.
to translate so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that way I choose to follow because
Hmm.
for me make more sense. The way I see life now, I see that way. And that conflict is not just about physical conflict. It's much more psychological conflict you have.
Hmm.
I want this, don't want this, I don't like the life way. You can see all conflicts start in the mind first. And after you do the conflict outside, you create war. Why? Because you have conflict inside.
Hmm.
People now have conflict in the mind. He don't do war. It's impossible.
Hmm.
It's just the conflict. It's just fight against somebody because you have conflict. You don't like the other people say or the way he's act. You have conflict. You know, I have one, you do another, so you have conflict. So if you don't have conflict in you, you stop the war that way, you know, flowing
Hmm.
and stop the conflict you have inside.
Hmm.
And that philosophy comes from Buddhist guy,
Hmm.
the Taoist masters.
Hmm.
The Taoists, when they go to China, when the Buddhists go to the China, and found another mass for Taoism,
Hmm.
he started to realize, oh, we talk about the same thing, but
Hmm.
different language,
Hmm.
use different methodology.
Yeah, I think most people think Buddhism comes from China, where it doesn't. Even Buddha was Nepalese. It comes from Nepal, right? So the Tao Te Ching, right? The Taoism comes from China,
Yeah,
and then Buddhism comes from Nepal. What you were saying is when they met,
yeah,
the philosophers
yeah,
realized that they're
yeah.
saying something very
Start the
similar.
same
Okay.
thing, yeah.
Mm,
And this is very famous in the Shaolin Temple when
mm,
have the
mm-hmm,
two guys there,
mm-hmm,
and start, oh, we talk about the same thing.
yeah.
And he start use that, and the China is already have his own martial arts. It's
Mm-hmm,
not kung fu, of course, but it's the base of the kung fu.
mm-hmm,
And that guy go for the China, he's have his own martial arts too because he's a master from martial arts too. Because like there have the caste, yeah, for the warrior caste, yeah, the normal people, the farmer. He's from the warrior caste.
mm,
So he's achieved his enlightenment. He starts see life clear the way it is. So after he sent to him to China, and he
mm,
saw this another master. So what he started doing, he started see that monk is don't take care about his physical thing. So that's why he cannot able to meditate and do anything. So he started put some exercise, martial art exercise to
mm,
help people have more healthy thing, you know. But you imagine, you know, you think to master, no, see the reality the way it is, live the life that way. live the life in the moment, the
Mm-hmm.
Zen
Mm-hmm.
way, or flow with the life.
Mm,
For flow, you need live the life in the moment. If
mm,
you don't live the life in the moment, you cannot flow. Yeah. So it's the same thing. So you imagine if two guys think that way, you think he's create some martial arts for war, for fight? No, but the technique is there because he's learned how to fight because sometimes you need it. It's necessary from period of the life you have, you need it.
mm.
But like today, you don't need it. You have gun, you have like armor,
Yeah,
you have
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Swords and
I think
knives.
start to lose more the mini train that way,
Uh,
and train more the way for me is train more the way to understand your mind because that is the problem. Is there start all the wars. Now, if the human being understand his mind, he stop all the wars. So you try to talk about like peace. Oh, the war is not good. The Ukraine, every war is not good. Oh, it's bad. Why you do this? You think about solve here outside, but it's not. You need cutting the problem. The problem is in the mind.
mm,
We create all these things. So this master know that kind of thing. So this is why when he start teaching or help these people train martial arts, is for that reason. It's not just for fight, but he's learn how to fight. Because more aware you are, more able you is to make something new, discover the way the joint work,
mm,
what the weak point in the body. So this is why he's able to create all that beautiful techniques you have for all the martial arts, because he's aware for that kind of thing.
Is it safe to say that the philosophy of teaching martial arts through flow is kind of a combination of Taoism and Buddhism together the philosophy, not the religion, right? But the philosophy of Taoism and the Tao Te Ching and then Buddhism philosophy, like you described how they met and they
Yeah.
kind of realized what they're saying.
Yeah, because when he's met, he's create a new, he create the Zen Buddhism.
Mm,
The
mm-hmm,
Zen Buddhism come the union of these two things. So you can see like the martial arts is split to the Asian from the monks,
mm,
from Zen
mm-hmm,
Buddhism. So
mm-hmm,
this why I see like the base of this is that one first. From this it starts with all the technique.
mm,
Because before it's not everyone can train martial arts. It just
yeah,
people choose can do it, and
yeah,
people looking for something else. Now I look for change my life or the enlightenment, and you go, okay, I have a test for you. Let's see if you're able to come or not, because it's not for everyone. Now it's not. Now becomes something good for everyone. And I don't say like it's bad, it's good, because now you can help people for his health, confidence. Now some people need that layers, for self-confidence. Some people don't have self-confidence. It's go for the martial art, even trying to like that way smash each other, but maybe help him have more confidence.
mm,
Or for some people never have the attitude to do something, the martial art move you to make that attitude start to do something. I think it's good. I think the problem is when you use the martial arts just for inflate your ego.
mm,
I think that become the problem. But I think every layer of Budo is good. Self-defense, you need to learn how to some people need it. And I think what people looking for. Some people feel like I need to defend myself. My life is about survive, and have some layer for martial arts for this. Train martial arts for you feel more safe
mm.
is one layer.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty obvious that that's a relatively big. I've heard, as a better way to say it, I've heard a lot of people in Okinawa specifically. Okinawa is very small. Most people don't realize how small. It's like very small, right? So there's not a million. It's not like being in America where you get 100 different teachers to choose from or senseis or dojos. But this idea of smashing each other, and I think I've even spoken to people, they'll say that they want to, but they're just afraid to walk in and they get beat up,
Yeah,
right? If that makes sense.
yeah,
What you do, I've heard you say here is that it's far safer often because you are exchanging information rather than dislocating joints, right? Rather
yeah,
than stretching the arm, you're learning about the information of which, for me, for example, being a wrestler, I give my arms away all the time because they're the easiest tool to use to keep yourself off your back, right?
yeah,
And giving your arm away in jujitsu is the best way to lose it, right? To have
yeah,
it dislocated. So over time, the through the exchange of information, learning when I flip over not to give my arm, right? To keep my arm more controlled, I would say. Not necessarily keep it inward, but keep it just more controlled rather than just giving it out freely. Because man, the amount of you've gotten me in the amount of arm bars that I've been put into, right?
Yeah.
Um, and eventually, would you say it's fair to say that BJJ is safer?
Yeah, yeah, that way is easy. I think it's easy to recognize, more safe.
Mm,
And like I say, train that way is not just about safety, it's
mm,
more safe because you
mm-hmm.
train that way. And it's not just about like be nice with your partner because it's good,
Yeah.
because God or who have a religion, because it's the nice way. It's not just about this.
Mm,
It's more smart way to train, cooperate with people, have more than one brain, think about the techniques, all these things,
mm,
much more efficient way to train. So this is when I start back to teaching jiu-jitsu again, because before I don't have that too much that idea specific how to training. And after I come back to this, I start clear. It's much more efficient train that way, much more. So I try give awareness first for people, and have this awareness, he's do much better everything. So that's why it's not like just let's say everyone can take the layer his war, he can take advantage for that idea. Even if the guy wants to be a competitor, he wants competition, all this thing, is still that way is the more smart way to train. I don't say just train that way, but need to be the base, because train that way, you start learning more easy the technique, less injury for your body. You can more you have now you have your body for training your physical training, specific training, the cardio, everything you need. Plus, your body is there, safe for that kind of thing. And you learn the right technique, don't force anything. It's much more easy. And it's not like based on memorized technique, because you just have so much detail, so much technique. You cannot memorize all the technique. You train more your ability to see things, the feel things. So you start move your body made and that feeling, not from your memory, what you remember.
mm,
I think all these things, for me, I see clear is much more efficient way to train. But it's not easy the first step, get out from the idea I'm here for fight. Because conscious is most of the people, when I talk, people understand, yeah, I get it, let's do it. But unconscious is start use power, use this, because his ego is there.
mm,
Not talk about bad thing again. No, ego is just you, it's just the thing there you not recognize. So I need to do like class for people start recognize himself, that the kind of the awareness gives to
mm,
you.
mm,
Because for me, I believe that way. Of course, I can teach you the technique, you can learn, repeat, you can be good in that thing. You can repeat what I tell you. But I think if you see for yourself, feeling for yourself, I think it's much more, the feel is much more good. You feel like you create something. You can do the same technique I did it, but if you are aware in that moment, you know the exact moment you do it, you have that feeling you create something. You part of that creation. It's not like the ego, I get it, I do something. That kind of feeling is different. The same thing, the farm. You can tell, oh, the farm, you can see, but if you're there, you can feel the difference. I think the flow is the same idea. The feeling about your ego feel happy when you finish, or your ego feel bad when you lose, that sense is one, but that the feeling you when you do it something just because you do it, doesn't matter if the guy tap you or you tap him, you have the same feeling in you. Yeah, that kind of thing just you can experiment.
mm,
And I think that way, because I think if you think that way, the same thing about like put rules in the life. You can follow, I don't know, follow the Bible, follow the town. It doesn't matter, follow the rules. Now, if you just follow the rules, you just follow when someone looking. If no
mm,
one looking, you don't follow. Or if not convenient for you, you don't do it. Again, is the win at any cost. If you need broke some rules for win, you go broke. It is what it is. But when you know something, it's you not broke your own rules.
mm,
You know that kind of thing. If some rule put in you, you can broke, but something you realize, you cannot broke, because it's your decision. So this is why it's not about what good or bad. You are aware what you do. So I think that awareness gives to people when you train martial arts that way. He's used that awareness for his life, because it's not like follow the Taoism philosophy, like that rule, oh, do this or this, or you cannot do this. No, it's not this what I'm looking for. It's the awareness. Just this I want to give to people. Have awareness what you do it. Why you tell that way? Why you act that way? Why you speak that way? Why you do that kind of joke?
mm,
Why you act that way? Know why, the reason.
mm,
Look for your mind. If you start looking, if you are strong enough to do this because you don't want to do this, that's the real fight. Look to you, understand the reason you do everything, recognize the reason, and after this you do what you want to do. It is no one judge you, if you're good or bad. You judge yourself. And if people naturally start do good things because he starts see his logic,
mm,
if he start pay attention what he's doing. So the more way normal we do is we do stupid thing, and after we recognize, and it's like, fuck, I do stupid thing,
mm.
next time I not never do again. And after time you do the stupid thing again. Oh, I need to fix that. Oh, I know why I do that
Yep.
stupid thing because this. Next time I don't do again,
Mm,
You never fix, because you don't in the moment. You need catch when happen. When you start to do the stupid thing, when you start tell the stupid thing, don't stop you because it's the bad thing, but start see why I'm start, and you start recognize the reason.
mm,
After you cannot see clear, the experience, the same thing again for the farm. You need to have the experience to know it. You can look in the book, all that, yeah, it's this, you cannot force growing, no, but be there and you see. The same thing experience, when you do something, be aware everything you do it, Be aware every time when people tell you something, the way you react. Why you react that way? Why I feel happy? Why I feel mad? So
mm,
understand that reaction. It's the same in jiu-jitsu. Why the guy catch my arm? After you start, oh, I give the arm. It's okay, but don't solve the problem. Just solve the problem when you start give the arm and you recognize the guy and you take out the arm is not there. So you see the thing, Doesn't mean you never make mistake and give the arm, but every time you're able to stop. So that anything, doesn't mean you don't make mistake in your life. Doesn't mean because I'm start become more aware, I don't make mistake in my life. No, it's not this. But I'm more aware. Every time when I make that mistake, I see and I
mm,
really learn what happened from that.
mm,
I think that thing is more the change everything the way I teach, Because I don't look just for the jiu-jitsu, but train that way your jiu-jitsu become better. But not just your jiu-jitsu. The way your brain works start change. You start to see different possibilities for your life, different way to deal for some problem, and not just force something, and you start like flow in that sense, do what you need to do it. Doesn't mean you just wait for God do everything for you, You do your step and wait, see what come out from that.
mm. That's harder said than done, right? That taking from somebody in terms of life as well as training in jujitsu, that's far harder, right? I'd say that if you broke down Zen Buddhism from my understanding in one simple word, it is to, mindfulness, Buddhist mindfulness, which is to be present as much as humanly possible, right? That's far harder in terms of training to said than done when someone is strangling you, right? Like
Yeah.
when someone does get your arm, how do you stay calm, right? So for me, learning how do hey, when I do give my arm away, awareness, I give my arms away too much. When I do give my arm away out of instinct, how can I recover this and stay calm, right? Passing the legs around, to be able to, that is far harder said than done. And in life, there's such a huge balance. Me and my partner now with our corporation, that's really what we're trying to learn. You know more than others. There's been some, you know, traumatic life experiences that have happened lately. People passing away and ups and downs of business, and but really trying to find the truth in that situation, right? And trying to find the flow of what can I, like, maybe I can't do anything about this particular sub part. What can I do to learn from it? And then, start to get back into that flow and get back into the balance in life. That is so much harder said than done. That's for sure. Well, you have a ridiculously fascinating philosophy in terms of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which has really clearly come from life, rather than study. If you know what I now, obviously studying is important, but it's the same thing that you were saying, right? This romantic idea of what it's like to farm and garden. It is one thing to have the textbook on how to garden. It's
Yeah,
very different to do it,
yeah,
right? To be there, the
yeah.
feelings of experience. Mrs. Montessori, if you've ever heard of Montessori,
You
it's
know,
a style of education. It's all about, and her number one philosophy is what the hand does, the mind learns. So it's teaching children, instead of when you teach them how to read, instead of like here's your ABCs, it's teaching them how to sound them out and how to use your hands when you're learning how to read. And they put so I my early years of education, I was in a Montessori school. It's very different than traditional public schools, for the record, very different. But if you wanted to teach a child, very young child, about textures, you would not be talking about rough and smooth and soft. You would physically be giving them fabrics to hold as you're teaching them, starting in ages of like 3 and 4, right? What the hand does, the mind learns. Same thing in
yeah.
terms of your philosophy for jujitsu and flow is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think like some people can just take the technology,
Mm,
and it's okay, it's all good, because just train that way. When I tell people calm down, go that way, the minimal you less chance to hurt somebody. So people can take the technology just for have good training.
mm,
People don't want to go deep for the flow thing.
mm,
For example, this Saturday I talk more about philosophy and exercise specific because if people want to really understand, like say, don't look just the book, put the hand on the ground.
mm,
So when you start do this and see for yourself, when your ego, your opinion come true, when the situation you are, because this happen all the time. You can learn this from the book. Oh yeah, I get this, but if you cannot see this happen in the moment, never change. So this is why it looks so difficult
mm,
because it's so simple, but it's hard because our attention is not there. Our attention is everything outside. I not have ability to put attention inside. So this all that meditation technology have so many ways to do the meditation because meditation is help you to put your attention inside your
mm,
mind. You
mm,
start pay attention in your thought. So this is why the meditation is so good and help me, for example, myself and help so many people
mm,
because that ability to do that kind of thing. But a lot of people cannot do that kind of meditation. I'll sit down and be quiet and be there. But if you start able to start pay attention in your mind and when you do your martial arts, you do the active meditation,
mm,
you start put attention in your mind.
mm.
I think it's much better because you move, you do something in life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the idea for people have that awareness, not for go to the mountain and stay there. You still do what you need to do in life. Work and do everything, but for awareness.
Mm,
So you need to be active. So be okay, be zen just when you sit down and do the meditation. When you get out and go work and somebody tell you something, you're mad and you cannot control about yourself,
mm.
don't help you too much. You
Okay.
know, need help you if you're able to be in meditation state 24 hours. And for be able to do this, we need to practice our mind for this. It's the same thing. It's not easy in the beginning because you never practice. It's the same thing. You go for lift weight, you never lift heavy weight, so you're not able. Of course,
Mm,
start for small, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or start for 1 kilo, 2 kilo. After time, become light.
mm,
And do that kind of pay attention in your mind when you do the jiu-jitsu specific is really, really hard
mm,
because the
mm.
guy, like say, you guys start choking you and you still, when the guys choke you, you need to pay attention in your mind how you feel. That the thing, what that the difference.
Mm,
And to come in the point when the awareness there, because that the difficult, who want to look for the awareness is the ego.
mm,
Every time when the ego starts, oh, I'm aware, I need to be aware, I need to be aware what happened. This is not awareness, this is
mm,
attention.
mm,
Attention is tension.
mm,
You put so much because the ego wants to see everything.
mm,
The awareness is not this. You start to see more back. You don't have tension in something. So for you have awareness, the ego cannot be there.
mm,
So every time when you try to do something, the ego is there, it's more difficult to have the awareness. So this is why when you do any kind of meditation, you start quiet your ego because it starts just pay attention in what you think and what
mm,
you hear, what you do it.
mm.
So this is why people cannot do meditation because the ego wants to do something.
That's something that I do debatably religiously, like on a, I mean, it is very, very far more rare that I'll miss meditating in a day than I do. Like I do it far more often. I don't want to, I can't confidently say every single day, but very, very close to every single day between 45 minutes and an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And that did not start that way, right, at all. It really didn't. But it is such an escape and it is such a medicine, for lack of better words. Where can people find, because you also actually, you know what? No, I want to hear this real quick. You started doing custom handmade sculptures that are like so detailed, phenomenally detailed of BJJ art, right? But when I say detailed, I'm talking like the geese of some of the statues, like you can see the stitching in there. Like it's like really detailed. One, how did you learn this? And two, why? Why did you start making these handmade statues?
Yeah, after when I'm doing the farm and after the period, the guy and work together,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's wanting me work more and start do some trick for make me more busy. And he's stopped do what he need to do. I'm stay like 2 weeks, not have anything to do. For example, I don't have 2 weeks to not to do. After I need to have a lot of things to do. His maybe his plan, I don't know, or what happened in life. This happened, and because I don't have anything to do it, and I said, okay, my wife told me about the clay something. Like, let me check that kind of thing. Let me do. I don't have anything to do it because after, like I say, when I do the farm, I want to understand creation. Because if I start thinking, oh, if I'm able to quiet my ego, what I do it, because who do things is the ego. I need to know how creation work. And one thing I get or how we can create, I need to be in the moment. But when I say in the moment, exactly in the moment. And I have that theory in that time. If I be in the moment, I'm able to create something or do some art. And I never zero skill for art before, so these are really tests for me. Let me see if I able. So to make art, I think have two components. This the real art, you need to be in the moment, and of course, if you have technique to do it, you can make beautiful art. So this is why, and that time I don't have zero skill for techniques. I don't know it. I just have the pure be in the moment, and I start do the art because that when I do the art is part of my meditation too. Because I and see now, for example, I start make the hand and I start already, my brain start already thinking, oh, how I do the arm. I start already in the future. I'm not in the moment anymore. And I start recognize I'm not able to do good. And that my training. Every time I come back to what I do it. So I need to do that way. All the process need to be that way. I don't think too much what the next step, how I do that kind of thing. But I see my brain wants to do that way because I live my life, all my life playing the future. And everyone is that way. Everyone start pay attention his mind, or he's think about something in the future, what he's want, or something in the past. He's never be in the moment. Because if you're thinking, you're not in the moment.
Mm,
You when in the moment, the thought is not there. You don't need it. But that I start see the thought is there, but I don't need to pay attention to the thought. I don't need to follow what the thought tell me. I start separate. I start recognize thought is just the mental process. It's natural happen. It's not me. I start see clear this. The thought is not me. It's not I'm thinking. It's not me thinking. Thought happen itself.
mm,
It's part of the mind. But if I follow everything what my thought tell me, I start thinking about the future all the time. The same way I do all my life. So I start practice that way. See, no, I just be here. Again, I come back to here. I come back to here.
mm,
And when I finish, I see the art is there. It's not beautiful, but I feel good because I do something I'm not possible to do
mm.
before.
How can people find what you do, your work, your philosophies, your art, and all of that?
Where you can find?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think now here. Yeah, just in the BJJ house. Yeah,
just in the
yeah,
house.
yeah.
Okay, and
Here, yeah.
bjjart.com.
Yeah, you can do
Okay,
love that. Then look at the Facebook. Yeah,
okay.
and for me, like you can look now. I don't know in the future. Because again, I feel like everything in my life push me to do it. I
Mm,
do it. Of
okay.
course, I have my opinion for something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
learn how to use my ego too. Like I need that persona for put the game teach
Mm,
class. But
mm,
it's not me.
mm,
And I don't know how long I stay with that
mm,
persona TTG. Maybe tomorrow I do another thing.
mm,
I start feel like more fun. Before I think fun is have everything what you want.
mm,
But now I realize it's much more fun. Live the life. What come to you, start see a lot of things is better than you plan,
mm,
and a lot of things you plan, when you get it, you realize, it's not what I want,
mm.
because that's the problem. Because have two ways to do it, everyone look for peace and happiness. Everyone in the world. No one say, no, I don't. No,
Yeah, yeah,
everyone. This is
everyone
why
wants
we
peace.
look for money, you look for wife, gear, doesn't matter what, because you want that kind of thing. And you think, oh, when I have that beautiful car, I have that sensation. And
Mm.
you work, 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 do all these things, stress, so many, and you have the car. Maybe the first day, couple times, I feel good, and after, oh, you feel
Uh,
empty again.
uh,
I need another thing, and you go
uh,
that way. So I start realize, okay, if everyone look for that feeling, I don't need something outside. I
mm,
need to learn how I can make, because all these things is inside.
mm,
The way I feel is made inside. So I learn how I can make me feel that way inside. So I already have what everyone looking for.
mm.
So every time everything come up to this is plus. It's just fun. It's just a video game you play, and
Yeah, yeah.
you already happy. Doesn't mean bad things don't happen in my
Mm,
life or in your life, or you mad someday, but you start real. No, it's my mind start become that way. Is don't drive me go for that direction anymore.
mm,
I be aware. I know why I feel that way, and I'm be okay. It's up and down. So this is when I say, like, when I start separating more from my mind. So the three step, when first we think we are the body. You think you are the body. You do everything for the body. You look everything for feel good, have money or sex, everything, draw anything for the body.
mm,
And after time you start realize, oh, it's not just the body, the mind is important too. And you start to love to study,
mm,
learn philosophy, good music, all these things. You start, oh, I am the mind because I'm thinking. So I thinking, so I'm exist. I'm the mind. So that the way, but you start realize after time you're not the mind. The mind
mm.
is just like your body. You use
Yeah.
your mind for help you. But if your mind create all the drama, all the problem for your life, you never feel good. You never be in your being. You 100% in your mind, and the peace and the happiness is in the being. It's not the mind. The mind never be happy. The mind never be in peace, because the work for the mind is look for something more.
Mm.
This is his job.
Yeah, yeah.
If you know how to use, is this is perfect. Is don't say like quiet your mind. No, you use the mind, but you start recognize mind is something you can use. The same way you can use the butt for the jiu-jitsu, ballet, or anything. But it's not me.
Mm,
Learn how to use. The problem today, because the human being so sophisticated, the mind, the thought process, and you trap in that thought process, and you thinking we are that thought process.
mm,
So you never found the peace.
mm,
So learn how to use your body better. You can do many things better in jiu-jitsu and martial arts. Learn how to your brain, your mind working. You'll be able to control much better.
mm. Well, Sensei, thank you for your time. Un Lot to dig in there, a lot to ponder on, think over, and you could take it deeper, um,
I think
all
what
day.
is good, like maybe if people listen to this, start thinking, because
Mm,
my job here now at that
mm,
moment is making people thinking.
mm,
Is not believe what I say,
mm,
thinking.
mm,
Thinking, be honest with yourself,
mhm,
try start do this thing, because the question, what question come out from this, the more important.
mm.
It's not the answer. I don't give any answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the question you need to do for yourself, you do what's changed.
Mm,
Let's say, no, if people is happy the way he's live his life, force and try force to go out, it's okay, live that way. If people is already happy the way he's live, don't need flow. Why need flow? Why need start think about that thing.
mm,
It's more like when you start, no, I want to live my life more smart way. Be happy, doesn't matter what happened.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And start thinking the question come after, I think is important.
mm,
Because for sure, if people start think about that kind of thing, new questions coming.
mm,
And that's the fun part. And you can go more deep in that kind of question.
mm.
Because if people don't start do questions, it becomes just philosophy. No change anything. Because what happened? Who start thinking is your ego again.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
started, oh yeah, I believe, I don't believe. But
yeah.
what's changed? Not changing.
Nothing.
If you don't try pay attention in your mind, oh let's see if it is real. Let's pay attention what I do. Can be sit down and do meditation there, or can be washing your tissue and
Mm,
be aware, feeling everything.
mm,
Because what's changed is when you're able to do this and during the day.
mm. Thank you for sitting down. Thanks for giving me so much time. I think I took way more time than I said I was going to, as
Yeah.
always, that I always do. Guys, I'll see you on our next adventure.
Thank you.
So that was awesome.
Thank you, man.
Um, that's intense.